Horror, as a concept, is something I hugely admire. A means of fictionalizing certain themes and topics that can be considered taboo at the time of their release, by which one can explore such subject matter without much ramifications, being handed with enough freedom to practice ideas that can be deemed problematic otherwise. This gives almost any fiction-based genre an edge to others, where they have to tiptoe around those issues. And a director that can be the ideal pick for this criteria in our current timeline is Jordan Peele, the famed sketch comedian and actor metamorphosed into the revolutionary horror filmmaker that he is known for nowadays, sparking up conversations about social and racial issues via the medium of cinema, using such talking points in an eloquent manner that doesn't feel overwhelming thematically or loses its entertainment value for the sake of conveying its message. With Get Out and Us, he firmly established himself as the one to look out for in the horror genre, giving a healthy competition with his own distinctive style that continuously feels fresh with each new installment. And he didn't disappoint with his latest project. Nope, as a release, feels like it has arrived at the perfect time, and yet seems like it's way ahead of its time, with its core themes that reflect with our current mentality. But judging from the general consensus, we aren't emotionally ready to grasp its concept and learn from it. We can't overcome it because that emotion is so deeply ingrained in us that it simply feels natural. Much like his past works, there is a recurring motif of placing a grand and somewhat conspiratorial setting in its plot, working as a ploy in the hopes to educate the ones who are eager enough to look for and learn from its actual concerns. And Nope functions in this exact fashion. If you set it from its flashy shell, what you get in the inside isn't much different than what Jordan Peele's past cinematic works were actually meant to be. As even though the biggest and sticking out as a sore thumb plot point of Nope has its base set up in the mystical lands of sci-fi, there is a human-made, subtle side in its otherworldly predicament. So let's submerge ourselves in that. Nope is a toughie when it comes to determining in what genre it can be placed in. Set in a western backdrop with a contemporary twist and sci-fi elements that are magically blended in this what can be classified as a horror title. Where it's not difficult at all is discovering the pattern that is so common in the horror works of Jordan Peele. No matter what the outlandish plot of Nope might suggest at first glance, the hidden psychological aspect to it is present there, which he used to unveil a certain side of our psyche to bear us naked from our distinct outer appearances, leaving us equal on the inside to ponder on and about as how we function together as a species. That being a relationship with being pried on and about drama. How it is so interconnected to us, or more than we are willing to accept. Much like how I act about absolutely hating the culture surrounding drama. Yes, I try my best to not be consumed by it, or tend to go looking for it. But I'd be lying if I said that those sort of headlines never caught my eyes, or that I never click on them to know more. This is painted as an issue that is ravaging amongst the youths that are growing up in the age of internet. Which is far from the truth. Yes, it was amplified by it, but it isn't a new phenomenon. Poking our noses on others' affairs has been an age-old pastime of ours, deriving from us gossiping about the juicy topics that took place in our small, secluded neighborhoods. We have always been interested in knowing about how others choose to live their life. And then we got to the technological standpoint where information was made cheaply accessible. Neighborhoods turned into entire cities, cities to states, states to countries, and and then the entire world. Our fascination with scandals and spectacles and how we can't look away from them turned into a monopoly. Not a game that we didn't contributed in, but they turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. So we did the same. It's no more or ever was about knowing what others are up to. It's wishing while watching and waiting for their downfall. We follow relationships that we damn well know are going to fail. We hate hearing about bad news. But we are the ones who make the ratings go up by viewing it. And this is where the internet comes into action and its power to make anyone a celebrity overnight. They look for attention-grabbing activities and we lend our eyes to their needs. We don't watch for civil proceedings and orderly behaviors, but crave for them to amuse us by going over the top. Because that's what drama is in the end of the day. Scandals and spectacles are all about entertainment. We watch them, we make them, and we want to see them fall from their grace. We film everything for others to react to, and then watch to see their reaction. It's a self-fulfilling cycle that is fueled by us, and it can't be stopped even if we wanted it to. The demand simply outweighs our morality. However, there is one S missing here. Surveillance. And this is where Nope comes back with full throttle. Spectacles and filming it is a huge element in this film. Because what's the point of coming across anything of such manner if you can't so prove of it? This is where the biggest dilemma with anything related to drama comes into the equation. To gain notoriety from it, we have to give up a huge chunk of our privacy. You simply can't have both. Yet, we like to have certain sides of our lives kept under the wraps. We go above and beyond to keep them private, performing them under the masking darkness of the night, taking security measures while searching certain unflattering things. We like to think that they will never see the day of light, and then get ads relating to those search results. Information being sold amongst companies for them to benefit from our deep desires, who themselves sell those data to the governing government. And in that process, they lose the so-called control that they have on our digital peruses. That's what they are fundamentally after, being the one in control. We surveil our surroundings to be able to see and capture everything that takes place in our vicinity. Those with more power want to do the same, just in a larger scale, to be in the top of the food, or in this instance, power chain. The introduction of the creature named Jean Jacket brings in an interesting dynamic to that hierarchy. Us humans and our persistence to understand and dominate anything and everything in our reach is broken by it. We aren't the ones who are reigning anymore. We aren't in the top of the chain. And we aren't monitoring everyone's moves. Yet, we aren't afraid to do any imaginable act by our means to record even a single second of our predator. Because what's the point of witnessing a spectacle if you can't show it off to others? We're willing to sacrifice all our belongings and maybe even lives in the hopes to get the limelight to be shown in our general direction. We sell our tribulations, trauma, and tragedies to cope with the suffering from our losses, to gain something from what we lost, profiting of it, disregarding the humanity that we're depleting while doing so. We don't watch a risk-ridden show just so everything goes to plan. Subconsciously, we want something to go awry and be the handful ones who spectated that while it was live on air. Those tragic events is what later on defines them and how they are remembered. But do we learn from them? Rarely, it seems. We are blinded by the riches it might bring to us, pushing us to the edges, making us delusional into thinking that we are in charge. Nonetheless, we can't blame them. It's universal for us to believe that we are special, the chosen ones, protagonists of our own stories, looking for signs to approve that fabricated message of ours. So, we do everything in our power to keep that thought alive in us, no matter how damaging it might be to us or the ones around us. To outgame the system that has been taking advantage of us for who knows how long. To finally break free from that endless loop of exploitation. Or at least think that we are finally in authority of our own lives. But hey, it doesn't matter if we control or get controlled, capture or be captured, play with others' life or get played, toy with them or be toyed around. Just remember to clap when you're in the presence of a spectacle taking place.